Look at that. we rig stuff up over here. We make it right. We're in a Chick-fil-A line, man. We already at the front though. We just pulled up probably what? About a minute ago? Was it 5 minutes ago? Because we took time to order though. I feel like it was like.
Ordered it.
I feel like it was like 2 or 3 minutes though.
It said 10:35 when we started ordering.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
So so maybe about 5 minutes. But it went fast though. Maybe because we were talking and stuff. I don't know. But we got up here quick. We just ain't got the food yet. They working fast though. They do a lot in a small area though. All right. That's all right. You too.
One, two, 3, and then fries.
That's your
that's your food.
That's my food truck. Yeah. So I am actually gonna eat 2 sandwiches today. But one's grilled, right? So it ain't so bad. And so here's the thing though, like I hadn't eaten fried chicken really in a long time. I think the last time I even eaten something that was like a fried chicken, I had like took a bite of your chicken strip.
Yeah.
And that was probably like 3 months ago. But like, does that really count? That don't really count.
No, you did not.
That don't count. I don't think that really count. Like, cause you can say like, okay, I hadn't drank in a year, but if somebody give you like a sip and you just take a sip, but you don't like actually get drunk or anything, I don't think that counts. I don't know. Y'all tell me. I really don't. I personally don't think it counts. I mean, like you didn't.
A little taste,
Yeah, you just tasted it. You didn't get drunk. You took a sip. So why does it break your streak?
You didn't really have a drink.
I didn't really. Yeah, you didn't really. Yeah, you didn't really drink. You didn't have a drink, really. You know what I'm saying?
Because they say I haven't drank.
Same with like smoking, right? I mean, we ain't smoked in a long time, but the last time you got like a cigar or something like that, I took like a puff. It was nasty. So like, do you say that I stopped smoking? Like, did that break my smoking streak? It can't, because I really didn't just sit there and like indulge in smoking. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, y'all tell us what you think. I personally think that it don't count. It just is what it is. I don't think it counts. I think if you, I don't know, but what constitutes whether or not it counts? You know what I'm saying? Like, so what makes it count though? Is it like, is it a length of time? Is it like a period of time?
Maybe if you get the effect of it.
That's what I was finna say though. Like if you smoke enough to get the effect, then I think it counts.
Like if you have a drink, but you just don't feel drunk, you still.
Then does it count? Yeah, technically you drink though, right? So would it be? So would it be the length of time that you drank, or would it be the amount you drank?
I feel like it's the amount, because if you do a little, that's nothing.
But see, technically, I think it should be associated with how you feel. Because if you drink and you don't get drunk, then I feel like technically you didn't actually drink because you didn't get drunk.
But you know how when people are recovering, like addicts or like alcoholics, they be like, I haven't had a drink in this many. You know? But if they have a drink, then they did break that streak.
Yeah, that's true.
But if they had like a little taste off of somebody, they're like, taste this and have. I don't
and
think
then
they
technically,
had a drink.
Yeah. But their tolerance would be so high that I would think they feel it though still, if they did take a drink. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm sorry, their tolerance would be so low.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? That if they took a drink,
if they had a drink,
they would actually feel it, so it would constitute being a drink.
You talking about if they took a sip off somebody?
Yeah. Well, no, if they drank enough of it to feel it.
Oh, I feel like if they took like a sip off of somebody else's drink, they didn't have a drink.
I feel the same way, right?
But yeah, if they actually had like a drink to themselves, whether they felt it or not, I feel like they broke the streak.
And so that's where we differ, right? So that's what I'm saying. There's gotta be a cutoff point, right? Because here's the thing: if you take a sip and you feel it, you had a drink. To me,
I can see that.
If you drink a full drink and you don't feel it, then you didn't have a drink. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because the addiction piece is the drink, is the feeling from the drink. From my understanding, right? That is what the addiction is.
I understand that, but it's like, but they drank too much of it. So they
right. But if they don't feel it, let's just be honest, if they don't feel it, then technically they probably wouldn't keep drinking it, right? Because they're alcoholic. They're searching for the feeling. Right. So to me, I would look at it like this: if they don't feel it, because chances are, I feel like 99% of the time, if you really have been focused on not drinking for a certain period of time, then your alcohol tolerance will be so low that when you do drink it, you're gonna feel it.
That's the thing. So if they have a drink, they probably gonna feel it anyway. So
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So you still broke the streak, whether it's a sip of drinking or not.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But if you don't have the stimulant, I feel like it's not. You didn't actually drink because you didn't get the stimulation from it. Because that's what you're seeking. Yeah. So if you smoke and you don't get the stimulation from it, then technically you didn't smoke, because that was the reason why you intended to smoke in the first place, to get the stimulation. That's what you were seeking.
So what I think is, if they take a sip and they don't feel it, then they didn't break their streak. But if they have a full drink, even if they don't feel it, I still feel like they broke the streak. Now you feel like they didn't break their streak.
If they don't have that stimulation, I feel like they didn't break their streak.
But I still feel like they broke the streak if they didn't feel it and they had a whole drink. Mine is a quantity and a feeling thing.
Right. Mine is associated with pure feeling.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the whole reason you have the addiction is because of the stimulant.
Well, I understand like the addiction piece. Mine is more literal.
It's almost like this, right? So like, say you craving a cookie, right? And you want a really good sugar cookie. Let's just say you want a really good sugar cookie. And somebody gives you a cookie that tastes good, but it's not a sugar cookie, right? It's a cookie, but it's not a sugar cookie. So technically you didn't have a sugar cookie. So you still want the sugar cookie. You still want it. It doesn't matter because you're craving the sugar cookie, right? So if they give you a chocolate chip cookie, it didn't cure your craving for your sugar cookie. It may have cured the sugar craving, but you still want the sugar cookie. Right. You still crave because I don't know about you, but for me, let's just say if I wanted a sugar cookie, I want a sugar cookie. I don't want a chocolate chip cookie. I want a sugar cookie. Same. So I could eat a chocolate chip cookie and I'll be like, man, I don't really want any more sweets. But if I was to eat a sweet, I'm still gonna eat that sugar cookie because I was craving that sugar cookie.
Not me. I feel like at that point, I'm one of those people where it's like, if it's close enough to what I want, it'll satisfy. Yeah.
Yeah, but see that's me. That's different from me, right? Like to me, I'm not satisfied till I get exactly what I want.
Yeah. No,
so
if it's close enough, I'm good. Like I don't feel the craving.
I don't know. Y'all tell us. I don't know if like what constitutes. You know what I'm saying? Like you breaking the streak, right? Is it literally the stimulant or is it
the amount?
The amount. Like what is it? I personally feel like it's the stimulant. If you don't get the stimulant, then you didn't break the streak, because that was the whole reason you were even in an addiction state anyway, because of the stimulant. I don't know. That's what I feel.
I can understand why you saying that. That's right. I agree with that until it gets to if they have a whole drink. they broke their streak if they didn't feel.
So you just drinking and you don't get the stimulant.
I don't feel nothing. I didn't break my streak.
It is, but I'm gonna play devil advocate to myself though, right? So if you like your streak starts and you only like 3 days in, but your tolerance is still high, and you have a drink and you don't get the stimulant, and you don't get the stimulant, you keep drinking, and technically you didn't have a drink.
I just can't.
I don't know, but something has got to be like the cutoff point, right? So yeah, you can play devil's advocate to that. I just did it on my own, but realistically, when you think about it from that standpoint, they broke the streak because their liquor tolerance is high, and they did get a stimulation from it, not as much as what they wanted, but they still got it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So there's a difference, right? Because you didn't get as much of a stimulant, doesn't matter. It's the fact that you got this stimulant. Right. You see what I'm saying? So I don't care how high your liquor tolerance is. When you drink, you're going to get the stimulant. It's how much stimulation you get.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I feel like it's partially kind of hypothetical, because it's like, in reality, are you going to drink a big ass drink and not feel it at all?
Yeah. No, you're not, right? I don't think you will. Even if your tolerance is extremely high, I still don't think you will drink a huge drink and not feel something. It may not be as much as the person that has a low tolerance.
Right.
But we should go to that other one, huh?
Yes,
Let's
I
go
was
to that.
thinking that. Booby, you're in my head, but I was gonna be okay with coming here if you wanted to.
I was meaning to just turn down the other way though. I should have did that. But I don't know. We'll see what some people think about that also. Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Chick-fil-A sandwich.
You gotta go
What
get
was the
your
point of
stuff.
that? Oh, about your fried chicken.
Yeah.
You broke your streak with that dang nugget you had off of my thing. I'm just playing.
Technically, I didn't
I feel
because
like
I
to
didn't
me-
I didn't get the effect of it.
That's what I was gonna say, and I feel like it was such. That's why I keep
It's
saying
such a small
It was
piece
such
part.
a small piece. I don't really feel like you
Yeah.
broke it.
Yeah. But so usually my reaction to fried chicken is sluggishness, right? And so because I didn't eat enough of it to be sluggish,
Mm-hmm.
you see what I'm saying? Then I feel like I didn't really break the streak
It be some weird stuff
because
going on down
you know
the road.
it showed it. Really.
Because it was like, did I send that to you? Oh, I sent it to Candace.
Well,
I was driving down this road, like literally in front of HEB, and it was this man.
Yeah.
It was this man, and he was walking. He had like a white beat on, and he had on some joggers,
uh-huh.
but he was sagging, but he ain't had no drawers.
What the hell?
His ass was out.
He really did
He
that.
did that. I took a picture of it and sent it to Candace. I didn't
Oh,
send it to you
man.
because I was like, he ain't gonna want to see this dude ass randomly.
That's that's trifling. Man.
He was just walking like normal, like his whole ass was like his whole behind was out. I was like,
Yeah, that's trifling. He know he shouldn't have did that. He know
like
he
it
just
was a
did that.
normal day, like nothing's happening.
I don't even understand. Like I don't even understand the point of sagging like that to that level. You know what I mean? Like I can understand a little sag, but I just don't understand the major sag, right?
Maybe he
And
forgot he had no boxes on.
I don't know. You think he feel the wind or something? You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I say I think it's trifling because like he knew. You had to know, right? You had to know. Cause you would felt the breeze,
Maybe he
right?
was like, "This is my decision. I'm gonna stand on it. I walked out here. I'm not gonna pull him up.
Yeah, he
Then
wasn't.
everybody
Yeah,
know."
he knew. He had to know.
He's like, "Nope, I'm gonna
He
stand
had,
on
he
this.
had
Y'all
to
done
know.
seen
He
it.
just didn't care, right? That's all it was to it.
I'm gonna stand on my decision to come out here and embarrass myself. I'm
Because
not changing.
otherwise, you know what I mean. He would have pulled him up, or he would have wore boxers, right? and just freaking sag. You know what I mean? Because to me, I'm not gonna judge you because you sag. I mean, I'm not gonna judge you. Period. I mean, if you gonna sag, you gonna sag. But come on, man, be cognitive of others, right? You know what I mean?
People kids in
Yeah,
that car.
people kids want to see the crack. Want to see the crack of your behind, man.
Hey,
That's
little
crazy.
Kids, they didn't see the big black booty.
That's crazy.
Down the street, don't look over.
I don't
See his
know.
behind.
Yeah, he may have got some you know, maybe his attention getter for these women out here. I don't know. Probably trying to show him something.
maybe he hooked a certain type of woman with it.
I wonder so like what does women take? I wonder what women take is on like guys sagging though. Cause you see some chicks, they actually be with guys that sag. I mean, so all right, so let's just toss it out there though. How do you feel about guys that sag? Is that like, are you into that?
Am I into it? No, I don't like. I don't like.
Is it
seeing-
personality over that sag?
Well, the thing is, you used to sag, but you didn't sag to the point where your boxes and stuff was showing. Your
Right.
pants was just baggier.
Right.
That to me
It's
still
a level
is
of sag,
sagging,
right?
But it's just not so bad. But I feel
I
like
had like a
let's-
2% sag. Right?
Yeah, I feel like if somebody's boxes and stuff is showing and all that, it goes past sagging to me, and it's just sloppy.
Yeah.
Like it's not even like, I don't care if it's for a style or something like that. To me, it just looks sloppy.
Yeah.
You know, like if somebody bottom of their stomach hanging out their shirt, it's
So-
like. I think it's the same. Like it's not.
So,
I don't care about the style if that's.
but what if they had a really good personality?
They
though?
can have a really good personality, but I feel like they would have an inkling that it's something that they doing that I don't like, because I'm not good at like what you think about this? I'm like, I mean, you like it? I don't like it. I don't know. I don't think, honestly, personality Personality-wise, I feel like the kind of person with a personality I like probably wouldn't sag to
Would
that
sag
extent.
anyway, huh?
Yeah, not to that extent.
Yeah, they wouldn't have. It wouldn't be. It'd be more than 2% sag. It might be like might be a 30% sag.
Yeah.
I didn't sag. I didn't sag much really. Yeah,
You
my
really
pants
didn't
were just
sag.
baggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. And it like you didn't really just see my boxers or my underwear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just not my.
It just you see like the like Eddie and Eddie. You know, you had a little droop in the back. That's all.
Oh Lord.
Some of them did. Some of them was sagging hard on Eddie and Eddie though. That used to be the what's name.
I like it.
Yeah, that was my freaking cartoon right there. I don't know, but personality over sag. So you wouldn't take you'd take personality.
No, but and I say no because it's like I can find somebody else with your personality that don't say it.
Well, that's true. That's true. Well, I was just saying, but if you think about it, if you had a choice, which one would you choose?
Personality
versus sag. So like you literally couldn't find nobody on earth.
Oh.
That had the personality.
Okay.
To outdo the sag. So either they sagged and had a terrible personality, or a personality that they didn't match you. Let's put it that way. Right? A personality that didn't match you, but you like their look with the sag, I guess. I don't know, how would you put that?
You saying either they have a great personality and
they sag. That's right. Great personality and they sag. Or horrible personality, but they look the way you want. That's exactly right. That's what I'm talking. That's only two options.
So it's no other personality that I like. That's the only personality.
That's the only thing you go with. That's the only thing.
That's the only kind of personality I like.
That's
okay. Well, no, I definitely would choose the person whose personality, because
that makes sense.
And here's the thing, because
why wouldn't you choose the one that you want to look? Because you got to wake up next to him. One that got the personality. If you don't.
Well, we didn't say the one with the personality was ugly. We just said he couldn't dress right.
Well, that's true, but all right. So let's add this to that then. So maybe he don't look the way you want to look. Period. Let's change it to that then. Let's do it that way. He don't look the way you want to look. He don't look good.
But he got a great personality.
But he got a great personality.
And the other one, he has a bad personality, like he an a-hole, or is he got a bad personality, like he dry?
Well, he got a bad personality, as in like you just don't like. Period. You don't like his personality. Not necessarily got to be like an a-hole or none of that. You don't really like his personality at all, right? But you just the way he looks. But he looked good. Yeah, that's probably better, because the thing is like some people that look good, they can look good and not sag. So I think it's probably better to do it that way. So either he has a really good personality and he doesn't look good. You got that option. Or he looks good and he has a terrible personality. Which one? You only can choose one. What would you go with? The looks or the personality?
I mean,
because you got to wake up next to this person, so if they don't look good, if you go with that.
Okay, so here's where people
and it's to you. It will be to her, right?
Yeah.
So it would. Everybody has a spectrum, I know, and certain people prefer certain things, but I mean, like, it would be personalized to you, right?
And I can't just be single.
No, you don't have an option. You gotta be with somebody. You gotta be with somebody. You gotta choose somebody.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I feel like
I'm going with looks. I'm telling you.
You going with looks?
Yeah, because I can deal with your personality. I can deal with the personality, but I don't know if I can deal with the look.
That's why I was like, I feel like people gonna think I'm vain. Because here's the thing. Like, even if a person has a certain personality that I may not like, I feel like I'm the kind of person that I mesh well with people regardless of personality.
Yeah.
Like, my personality makes them act a certain way with me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
What you're saying.
So it's like, for me,
so you saying like it's almost, it doesn't really matter that his personality is so bad, because you almost feel like you can counterbalance it with your personality.
And I'm not saying I'm be trying to change nobody and all that, no. But yes, that's what I'm saying. Because the thing is, I'm one of those people where it's like, if you don't look good to me, I ain't really gonna be able to get past that to even like really fall in love with the personality. If it's so bad.
All right, back to our discussion topic. So what did you choose? What did you choose? I'm going with looks.
I chose looks.
Oh, you did?
Remember, because I said that I feel like my personality can counteract.
But at first, didn't you say personality at first?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
I said I chose looks because I feel like I wouldn't get to the personality really, because I wouldn't be able to get past, like, if somebody just, you know how I am about faces and stuff. If I don't like somebody's face, it ain't nothing they can do good. You know what I'm saying? That's how I am about Iguodala.
Yeah, it's
like I don't like his face. It don't matter how good he is in the game.
And the funny thing is, that's true though, because when you think about it though, people will compensate because they like the way somebody look. They will put up with stuff because they like the way you look.
That's where it
right?
get a little toxic.
Yeah, people will do that, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't like we said, right? You don't whoop the pretty baby, right?
The pretty baby don't get whooped.
The pretty baby is spoiled. Pretty baby don't get whooped, right? It's the baby that's not so pretty that you freaking put your hands on that baby, right? We shouldn't be doing that. But I'm just saying, realistically, that's what happens, right? Because you see a cute little baby, you're like, oh, he's so cute, blah, 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 blah. They do something, you like, why did you do that, right? If the baby ain't cute,
No.
I told you.
Until they get too bad.
But so that brings up another topic. Are the babies that don't look as good? I'm not saying when they get older, they can't grow into it and look a little better, but are the kids that don't look so good as a younger person, are they more disciplined? Are they more well-mannered? Should put it that way. More well-mannered than a kid that looks better as a younger person.
I think honestly, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't know. I feel like,
I don't know. It kind of blurs my little bit, right?
I feel like when people look rough, like they act rough. They get used to getting their ass whooped or something, and then it's like they just rough. Like I feel like when people look rough, they act rough. Like when you look untamed. Like if I'm in a situation where I just look untamed.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is though, so because the kid received so much discipline when they were younger, disciplinary actions were taken upon them when they were younger so often that they grew up to be a disciplined person, a well-mannered person.
But
versus the person who was spoiled. I
feel like it's a certain kind of discipline that, yes, it could be that way. But I feel like if like your kid getting on your nerves, you just be whooping them all over the house, like for random little shit that they ain't gonna do naturally when they get older, then no.
Yeah.
Like if they just like being bad or some shit, you know, that all kids don't do and grow out of,
right? And
they get a lot of whoopings for that kind of stuff. No. Now once they get to an age where it's like this is like moral lessons, like you getting a whooping because you need to learn that in society you can't do this. If they getting whoopings for that kind of stuff more often, then yeah.
So let's think about it this way though. So would you think a child that was spoiled when they were younger? When I say spoiled, which means that they got whatever they wanted. They didn't really get disciplined like, other kids did when they were younger. Mm-hmm. Do you think that they grow up to be less disciplined?
Okay, but if they got less disciplined, they were still doing crazy stuff. They just
when I say less disciplined, I mean like for their actions, they didn't get the disciplinary action that was required to correct their action.
Do I feel like they'll be less disciplined? I feel like they would be less disciplined. They would be a little bit more, they would feel a little bit more entitled to act the way they act, I think. Now, to an extent, because it depends at a certain point, it depends on just the personality of the person. Because I was spoiled as a kid, and I got most of the things I wanted, and I rarely ever got a whooping. I got a whooping maybe once or twice, but I'm not.
So maybe there's a different delineation between like being disciplined and being spoiled. Then, so maybe spoiled means necessarily that. I mean, that was my definition that I give out, but maybe it's the wrong term to use because spoiled could be looked at as not necessarily being disciplined, but necessarily you getting what you want.
Get away with whatever
you get what you want.
Oh, get what you want all the time.
Right, because that would be spoiled.
That's what I would think of.
Okay.
But you talking about like get away with whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like the kids that don't get disciplined, do they grow up to be less disciplined?
Yeah.
As an adult.
Yeah.
Is what I'm asking.
I feel like because at a certain
point, the baby that gets the baby that gets the whooping all the time, if they're always being disciplined, do you think they grow up to be more disciplined than the person who don't?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so, because at a certain point, if a kid is not getting disciplined for anything, it gets to a certain point where they raising themselves. And so to me, once I see like a lot of teenagers and stuff who raised themselves, and they probably, was doing whatever they learned from, they learn from other things. So just because they're not getting disciplined at home, they learn what's right and wrong. They learn, what's acceptable, what's not, what they want to do from other things. So then like the world teaches them as opposed to their parents. And then they seem to turn out more wild.
Okay.
So it's like they more street life and all that kind of stuff. They turn out to be more wild.
So you discipline them more as a kid than you think they grow up to be more disciplined.
Yeah,
adults.
because it's like either you're gonna teach them at home or the world gonna teach them. So if you discipline them at home, then you have a more window to like mold them into somebody who knows, got some sense.
Right. I mean, I can understand that, and because I mean, of course, quite naturally, there's always outliers, right? So you always have people that don't require as much disciplinary actions when they're younger. Like they don't really they don't require that, right? But they still in a way raise themselves because they don't get as much discipline, but they also don't need it, right?
Yeah.
So they learn from around them. So I think you still have those outliers, but I would also think the same. I would think that the more discipline you get, and granted, it's got to be warranted. Not like I'm not talking about like just because that's you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't just be beating the kid, right? I mean, understand we just joking when we say you beat the kid that doesn't look. That's just a joke, right? It's just that's what we say. I believe that people do it. But is that something that we condone? No, we don't condone any of that, right? I just believe that naturally people put the attention toward the people. That just is what it is.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily whether you look good or don't look good.
Right.
It's more veered towards like, you put the effort into something that requires it, right? So it's just kind of one of those things, right? I don't think it's that. I think mainly that's the biggest piece of it, right? So if your kid, whether they look a certain way or not, if a kid is always doing bad things and require a whooping, then you require a whooping, right? It doesn't matter if they a cute baby or not a cute baby. You know what I mean?
To me, it don't, because Jaden is one of the cutest babies.
And you still
and she got. You gotta sit down somewhere.
And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be, and that's the way I would try to handle the situation. But I do believe that there is some bias toward
it. Is.
You see what I'm saying?
It is.
I don't condone it, but I believe that naturally there is some bias in it, right?
Now, it may be a small window depending on that depends on how the person is. So some people's window is like bigger, where it's drastic difference.
Right.
And then some people is like, although they're biased, it's very small changes in how they handle each one of those kids.
Right.
Like the ugly one versus the not ugly one. So it's like it just depends on the person. So those are like generalizations, but in reality you gotta like factor in personality and all that different kind of stuff.
But I say that to say that I do believe that the kid that gets more disciplined when they're younger grow up to be a more disciplined adult, right? Because if you don't discipline the kid, then I think like what you said from that standpoint, I think that as you grow up, the world will grow you up. Yeah. And since you're so used to being alone or doing things on your own without that disciplinary actions taking place, so that that those things are wrong, or you know what I mean, I think quite naturally in some way you kind of build up a how do I want to say it, like a resistance towards people who want to discipline you, right? Because it's like they want to discipline you, but you've never really had that, so you don't know what that's like. Right. You see what I'm saying? So quite naturally you resist it. Right. You see what I mean? So like, if I guess to kind of explain what I mean is, so like if a kid always like touched the hot stove, well, always touched the stove and it was never hot. Right. They never realized that it can get hot. Right. So when it does get hot, it's a shock. right? So until it's hot, they always touch it.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So they're gonna always resist the, I guess, the potential that it could be hot, right? You see what I'm saying? I guess
I get what you're saying.
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like if you're growing a person up and they never had that discipline, they're gonna always do those things. You see what I'm saying? And so when you finally try to tell them, they resist it, right? You know what I mean? It's almost like the hot stove. When you finally touch it and realize it's hot, it's like, oh shit, that's hot. You see what I'm saying? The person that you try to discipline in that particular time, then it's like, just like the stove is hot, they resist it. It's like, oh no, like, oh my God, you what? Right. That's shock. It's a shock to them. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because they never really had that discipline, right? Now, do they rebel? That's a different story, right? I think it's a shock, and that's what that's what me saying the resistance is it's a shock. Right. But do they actually rebel? That's a different conversation. Right. You know. We'll get into that later. All right. We gotta go.